Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of the Team Venom Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, flying solo on this one because essentially what we're going to do is something similar to what I did to the Bad Blood pay-per-view podcast that I did, where I'm going to preview Saturday night's main event first, and then I'm going to be releasing little snippets all throughout the evening on YouTube, reacting to different matches that happen, so you can get all your results on here. I'm going to preview it first, and then I'm going to put all these things together and turn it into one full episode of the podcast, which will be listenable on Spotify. So, firstly, it's the 25th of January, 2025. Saturday night's main event has got 4 matches lined up. All 4 of them look like they're going to be brilliant. I'm looking forward to everything that's been announced for Saturday night's main event. And since I'm based in the UK, it also means that I'm not going to be watching this until 1 a.m. our time, because that's when it starts over here. So the fact that I'm staying up to watch it and doing this very pod means that I'm actually, really looking forward to the show. So the 4 matches that are announced are all huge. There's the World Heavyweight Championship match as Gunther defends against Jey Uso. There's the Intercontinental Championship match as Braun Breaker defends against Sheamus. There's Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, which I'm looking forward to way more than I should. And there's Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World title against Nia Jax. So, firstly, I'll just say the things that I want to see happen, which and what I'd like to see from those 4 matches. So, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. Personally, I'd like to see Jacob Fatu win, so I'm hoping that does indeed happen, but we'll see. Nia versus Rhea. I think Rhea should win, obviously, because she's only just won the title back, and it doesn't make sense for her to lose the title so soon. The Intercontinental title match is a very tricky one to call, because Braun Breaker is one of those people that could randomly surprise everyone by pulling out a Rumble win out of nowhere. So him losing the Intercontinental title to Sheamus the week before the Rumble could happen. So Sheamus could win his first Intercontinental Championship, and Braun could go on to win the Rumble, which is something that I would love to see happen. So I'm picking Sheamus there. For the World Heavyweight title match, I think Gunther's, logically I think Gunther's got the match, but I'd love to see Jey win. So it's a difficult one for me to call, but ultimately I'm going to go with Gunther, and we'll see at the end of the podcast if I've got any of these things right. So they're the 4 matches. The other thing that's been announced is the contract signing for the WWE Championship ladder match that's going to take place at the Royal Rumble between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. So they're doing a contract signing for that, and it's being moderated by the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, which should be really, really good to see. Cody and Kevin Owens have had a tremendous feud so far, and if there's anyone at all in the WWE roster who knows about ladders, it's Shawn Michaels, because he was one of the pioneers of the ladder match. So having him out there for that, it adds an extra level to it. And he was also the last person to lose the Winged Eagle title, which Kevin Owens has been carrying around since the last Saturday night's main event, because obviously Shawn Michaels dropped that to Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin had it replaced for the Big Eagle belt. So yeah, a lot of history all in this one segment. Should be really good. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you for listening if you are listening, and make sure you stay tuned to the YouTube channel for my reaction to whatever happens first, as well as results and that sort of thing. See you in a few. Okay, so the first match of the evening is Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Before I get into the match, I'd like to talk about how awesome the opening is to the whole Saturday night's main event show. Thoroughly enjoyed seeing the format that they used, with all the wrestlers making their way to the arena, everyone arriving in it. Everything gave it like a really good old school vibe. I loved the fact that they had all those wrestlers appearing, and then a limo pulling up with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, getting out with the $1 Million title, instead of just the crowd shots of legends, which they did on the last one. So really good way to start it up. Love the fact that Jesse the Body Ventura is hosting it. Love that he referenced that the last time he was on Raw, he created the Battle Royal, which Sheamus won, and led to Sheamus becoming WWE Champion. Loving all that long-term continuity that they're doing there. It's great. great intro so far, and I love the old school vibe of everything that they've gone for with that opening in video package. So anyway, onto the match at hand. So it's Rhea versus Nia Jax. Great match so far. Really good way to start it. Great to see Lillian Garcia as the ring announcer. Love that Nia is using the headbutts a lot more, because there's been a thing in wrestling for decades that used to be more commonplace than it is now, and that was that there was a whole gimmick with all Samoan wrestlers where they had notoriously harder heads. So I love the fact that they're playing into that with Nia Jax. What we were doing, the headbutts that are completely wiping out Rhea Ripley every time. It's great. It's good to see. So match started off really well, and then we hit the first commercial break. Once we came back from commercial, it was a pair of them put on an absolute banger. We got to see Rhea Ripley hit Nia Jax with an electric chair. Near fall with a code red, some other cool stuff like that. And it ultimately came down to Rhea hitting Nia with the Riptide for the 1-2-3 and for the title retention, which is great. So, best result really. Just a really good match. It was a great opening match. Yeah, it was awesome. Following the match, they put a very brief video package on some of the legends in the crowd. So we got like a very quick clip. And the first thing it showed was Alundra Blaze dumping the WWF Championship in WWF Women's Championship into a bin on WCW. And then it cut to Alundra Blaze in the crowd with that belt, which was cool. And then it showed Mark Henry raising the World Heavyweight title as part of a clip on Mark Henry, and cut to him in the crowd, and the crowd were loving the fact that Henry was there, which is cool as well. So, yeah, it's great. And I think the next match that's going to kick in is the Sheamus Braun Breaker match. So, yeah, it's been great so far. I've got no complaints. Okay, so the second match was Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. I loved this match. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Really hard hitting. The two just decide. You could tell that the pair of them wanted to go out and have a banger. I loved the fact that Jesse Ventura was referencing the Steiners and Steiner math, and we got all that 33 and a third comment from Pat McAfee. Absolutely fantastic. The match had some great spots, some really brilliant near falls, and had a really awesome spot just to send us to commercial break, which was where Sheamus was jumping off the steel steps at ringside and was caught midair by Braun with a spear. It looked beautiful, and they were both laid out for it. We had the commercial break, came back from the break, and the pair of them carried on. Sheamus at one point hit the Brogue Kick and got the 3 count, while Braun had his foot on the ropes, and the referee counted to 3. But then didn't call for the bell and reacted to the foot being on the ropes. And because Jesse the Body Ventura was on commentary for the whole thing, Jesse was wonderful here because he just stuck at the point that the referee counted to 3, so that should have been the end of it, even if he's made a mistake. Because that is what should have happened. There's been lots of occasions in history where audibles have been made because of referees having to do the count because the wrestler hasn't kicked out for whatever reason. And because they hit the 3, Jesse was absolutely right. It should have been Sheamus winning the Intercontinental title. However, the match continued. Sheamus went for a second Brogue Kick, but had to stop because of his ribs, which were injured because of all the spears from Braun. And then Braun hit some counters and hit him with a tremendous spear, and it was over. It was great. I really loved this match. One of the best Intercontinental title matches I've seen for a while. And the next thing that they've announced is that it's going to be the ladder match contract signing, because the next person to come out was the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, after they did a nice little video package on him and mentioned about him running NXT. So yeah, that's what we got next. Okay, so up next was the Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes contract signing for the Royal Rumble ladder match for the WWE Undisputed Championship, with HBK as the moderator. First they had Shawn Michaels come out to the ring, and then they had an ad break because network TV. And when they came back, they showed Ted DiBiase in the crowd, Dory Funk Jr. and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which is really cool because I haven't seen Dory Funk Jr. or Hacksaw Jim Duggan on WWE TV for absolutely ages. So it was cool to see them, acknowledge them, and have them in the crowd. That was cool. We then got the ridiculously good contract signing. I mean, I implore anyone who's listening to this to go and actually watch this segment because it was great. I know there's been lots of contract signings over the years that usually devolve into chaos, but this had the wonderful thing of Cody and Kevin Owens have been getting more and more personal with their with the way that they're talking to each other, and this followed on from what they'd gone through on SmackDown, and everything's believable with the pair of them. And there was a point where Kevin Owens was having this whole rant about how he's the rightful champion when he beats Cody. He wants all the things that Cody's had, like his face on the billboards and everything like that. And Shawn Michaels just suddenly chimed out with, "Jesus, Kevin, you just sound jealous," which just like set him off on a whole new spiral. It was amazing. And there was some really great promo work by all three of them. And there was a point where, prior to everything kicking off and getting physical, I was genuinely watching it thinking, I wonder if they're actually gearing up to do Shawn Michaels versus Kevin Owens at Mania, which they could, because I mean the last match that Shawn Michaels had was the Saudi Arabia match between DX and the Brothers of Destruction, and I'm sure that because that was a match where everything went wrong for all four guys. There was injuries in there. There was like the wrong temperatures, loads of miscues. It wasn't particularly bad, but it was not the sort of match that anyone was used to. So one of the rumours for years is that Shawn was probably going to do something to sort of end his career properly, and there was points in the promos where it genuinely felt like they were going to lean towards Shawn Michaels versus Kevin Owens at some point. They even had Kevin Owens talking about Shawn losing his smile and everything. It was great. And then after they had signed the contract and put the belts down, the belts got hoisted above the ring. This whole ceremony thing, I said, yeah, it's going to go up there until the Royal Rumble, which makes no sense because obviously the Royal Rumble's in a different state. But still, that's what they did. As soon as that was up there, Kevin Owens hit Cody with a cheap shot, knocked him down. Shawn Michaels went to do like the breakup thing, and then Kevin Owens jumped Shawn, went to hit him with a pile driver. Cody kicked Kevin, and then Shawn Michaels revved up and hit Kevin Owens with a sweet chin music, and it was beautiful. And the whole segment ended with Kevin Owens rolling out of the ring, like holding his face, and Cody and Shawn wandering off. And it was just great. It was just a really good contract signing segment, one of the best ones I've seen in a while. This whole episode of Saturday Night's Main Event so far has just been great. I haven't got any fault that I can pick with the whole show. It's been a real treat to watch. The only thing the only negative that I've got to say is that I am very sleepy, and that's not down to the WWE. So if you hear my voice trailing off or there's a different change in the tone, it's because I'm very sleepy. But we've got 2 matches left, which is Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, which I'm really looking forward to because I love Jacob Fatu. I think he's amazing, and Braun is a lot better than most people give him credit for. So I think the two of them are going to have a really great match, and that's next. And then it's Jey Uso versus Gunther. So the whole show from top to bottom so far has been amazing, and it looks like it's just going to get, well, I can't really say better because Braun Breaker versus Sheamus was so good. Rhea versus Nia was really good. It promises to stay consistently good. But yeah, this whole segment was great. Definitely check it out. Saturday Night's Main Event in general is on YouTube, so for the UK at least. So it's definitely worth a watch. Braun versus Jacob Fatu. It was ridiculously good. It was every bit as great as I thought it was going to be. Jacob Fatu never disappoints and stuff. we got the cool production thing that they've been doing quite a lot now, where on the way to the ring, Jacob Fatu was cutting a promo to the camera that was following him round, and then walked out still doing the promo. They do that. They've done that a few times on SmackDown and stuff. I quite like that effect. It was a really good, hard-hitting back and forth match up until the point where it suddenly wasn't, and Jacob Fatu dominated Braun. His running butt bump thing that he does in the corner looked like it virtually knocked Braun out. So he then hit it another 6 or 7 times, and the referee was trying to calm everything down, so Jacob Fatu threw the ref out. Match got called out. The camera went back around to Braun, and he was bleeding from the mouth and stuff. It was such a great visual because you don't see that sort of stuff. And Jacob Fatu then went and launched a chair in the ring. We had all like security and referees, and all the agents came running down. Fatu immediately threw the chair at one of these guys' heads, which was amazing. And then while everyone was trying to calm things down, he ran through them all and hit his springboard moonsault on Braun Strowman again. And then then everyone was still trying to calm him down. Braun, by this point, his face was covered in blood. Tama Tonga came out and tried to be the voice of reason, which was really bizarre. But that they made Fatu look like a killer. However, hilariously, the crowd were chanting one more time. So Braun's there, like covered in blood and like unable to get up or whatever. With all this around, and he's just been hit with the moonsault, and the crowd are chanting for Fatu to just do it again. So he did. He just ran back in and hit it again. And then they got halfway up the ramp, Fatu and Tama Tonga, and it looked like Tonga had managed to calm him down. Fatu just ran back in and hit him with another one. It was brilliant. It was really, really good. Fatu looked like an absolute beast. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about this match. It was so good. Definitely worth a watch. And like I was saying at the end of the last match, at the end of the last segment, which was the Cody segment, this episode of Saturday night's main event has been brilliant. The only thing that's hurt it, and if you listen to our regular podcast, you know that me and Connor also moaned about this from the last one. The thing that hurts the flow of the show the most is the sheer volume of ad breaks. So that's the only downside of it. However, that match was great. It was just, it was brilliant. I've enjoyed every match so far on this show, and I'm really looking forward to the main event, which is Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, which is up next. It's just been so great. Yeah. So I'll continue my diatribe after they've watched that match. Okay, so with the main event, it was Jey Uso challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, which was a really, really good, fantastic back and forth match. I think I've said that about virtually every match on Saturday night's main event for this special. Jey was ridiculously over with the crowd, as he always is, and they managed to craft some really good, genuine moments of pure drama where it looked like Jey was going to get the win, and then unfortunately, ultimately, Gunther still kept the title. I don't know why I said unfortunately, because I love the fact that Gunther's still champ, but I was still rooting for Uso to pick up the win. But we saw Jey kick out of Gunther's powerbomb, well, the drop kick and powerbomb combo, and it was it was a great match. The whole show was just fantastic as a whole, and and there wasn't a bad match. There wasn't a bad segment. Oh, prior to this as well, we saw the Brainbusters were in attendance. That's Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. So that was pretty cool showing those. They also had a bit where they referred to the area that Jesse Ventura had been standing out with Joe Tessitore. And where they've been stood is referred to as the Oakland position named after Mean Gene, which I thought was quite nice as well. So, yeah, great show, great event. Thoroughly enjoyed everything. Can't complain, and yeah, I just hope that the Royal Rumble has the same sort of quality across all of their undercard as well. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. Myself and my usual broadcast partner, Connor Franks, will be recording podcasts to go out every Thursday. So if you have enjoyed me waffling like an idiot on my own, then feel free to check that out. So, yeah, see you soon. Thanks.